I'd like to invite Gary Beecher, one of our graduating students, to give his address on behalf of the graduates. Thank you.
Wow, you all look very different up here. I'm giving a speech. Honorary guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to congratulate my fellow graduates today on this very special day, a day which marks the end of student life for many and the beginning of what we all hope will be long, fulfilling and varied careers. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Gary Beecher, and I'm graduating today with a Master's of Performance in Piano Accompaniment. I feel very honoured and grateful to speak to you all here today and look forward to sharing my experience of being a postgraduate student at the Guildhall School over the last 2 years. Don't worry, I'll try not to go on too long. I know you're all dying to get to that Prosecco. I would like to sincerely thank each one of the incredible staff members who helped us to get to where we are today, as well as helping to make the Guildhall School a world-class institution. It has to be said that the faculty members at the Guildhall School are crucial in helping to make the school a place of energised learning and creativity that challenges and inspires its students to push themselves far above and beyond what they believe they can achieve. I would personally like to thank a few people who I have had direct contact with over the past 2 years, who had a special impact on me. To my teacher, Julius Drake, for instilling a love for the art of song accompaniment and for being a kind, generous mentor and a friend. To Charles Owen, my solo piano teacher, for inspiring me and being my technical guru. A huge thank you also to Ronan O'Hora, head of the keyboard department, and also to Pamela Lydiard, deputy head of the keyboard department, for being like a second mother to all of us piano accompanists. Yes. She was always there to lend a helping hand no matter what, and remained so caring, calm and patient even in times of disaster. So, a little about me. As you can probably hear, I was born and raised in the Republic of Ireland in a lovely county called Cork. Quite a small place where you would likely bump into at least one other person you knew on the main streets of the city. I started playing piano at the age of 6 and was very lucky to have an excellent teacher who nourished and shaped my musical abilities for years to come. Of course, there were many ups and downs along the way. If you'd like to hear about all of the successes, you can check out my Facebook and Instagram pages. It's Gary Beecher, pianist, by the way. But what you won't see there are some of the challenges I've faced along the way. Challenges that I'm sure many of my fellow graduates here will relate to. So like most young kids and their musical instruments, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I definitely had a bit of a love-hate relationship with the piano growing up. Like any other young lad, I wanted to go out and play football with my friends. But instead I had to make sure I got the dreaded piano practice done first, or else I'd be in serious trouble come Wednesday afternoon. I always said I just loved to play the piano, but once I won a few competitions, I was really hooked. Really, what kid doesn't like winning competitions? With those glimmers of success, my piano teacher really put the pressure on. 2 lessons a week along with a prescription of 6 a.m. early morning practice sessions before school. I think my poor dad here today still hears the sounds of incessant scales in the mornings every day he wakes up. So this heightened pressure added to tensions in my relationship with the piano. And one fine day, particularly nice weather for football I might add, I had the tantrum of all tantrums. And I grabbed my green piano music folder, marched out the front door, and defiantly threw my piano music in the bin. Later, after calming down, I sneaked back outside, rather sheepishly I might add, to retrieve my green folder of music, now covered in a lovely banana peel and with other, smelly delights. So, after many years of throwing my music in the bin and going back to get it, and with the unwavering support of my parents, I decided to pursue music at 3rd level, and I'm so glad I did. I was pretty terrible at football anyway. I went on to study a Bachelor of Music in the Cork School of Music and spent a year on Erasmus exchange in Berlin. And following my undergraduate degree, I did what any other musician in their right mind would do. I kept studying. I decided to apply for postgraduate piano accompaniment courses in London, and so came the lovely audition process. When making that very difficult decision on which college to go to, we, as artists, all know what the biggest selling point is. Which college bar has the cheapest drinks? This, as I soon found out, was about the only good thing about the basement bar, or potentially bad, depending on the night you've had. Another priority might be the incredible facilities or the building itself. Now, there aren't many actors here today, but they'll be here later. But we as musicians, we will be forever envious of those actors for many reasons. For their dashing good looks, their chiseled bods, and the fact that they may actually have a chance of going on to be rich and famous someday. But all that aside, we're mainly jealous of the fact that they get to hang out in Milton Court all of the time, that shiny new building. So, but hey, you know, on the plus side, at least we got the annex. I mean, who doesn't find practicing in there absolutely inspiring? So, with great prospects for the future, I started out at Guildhall, clueless as to what was ahead of me. I soon realized that I was in amongst an incredible standard of musicians from all over the world, who were all just as good as me, if not better. It was a scary prospect for this young lad from Cork who thought he was the big fish back home. Being in this hive of like-minded musicians made me strive for excellence in everything I did, from chatting to singers in the foyer, room hopping in Silk Street, battling for room bookings in the Azimuth Wars, racing to confirm my room on an Azimuth terminal at 4 minutes past the hour, procrastinating or panicking in the chaos of common room on deadline day, getting lost trying to find B16, having existential crises at Lakeside, all while drinking that bad-tasting, expensive coffee from the cafe in Silk Street. So, throughout the master's program, I did actually do some work as well. I had the opportunity to partner with singers and instrumentalists in a vast array of projects. The first of these for me was a performance of Hugo Wolf's Italian songbook, directed by the amazing Eugene Asti. This was such an incredible experience, and one that I will never forget. One of the amazing things about Guildhall is that it is not a bubble which is cut off from the rest of the world. It has professional links to orchestras and venues across the world. The Barbican Centre, Wigmore Hall, Carnegie Hall, South Bank Centre, you name it. I feel so lucky to have benefited from these links over the past 2 years. From performing in Wigmore Hall for the Side-by-Side project directed by the wonderful Alistair Hogarth, to performing in the Barbican Centre pre-LSO concerts, and to performing in the BBC 3 broadcast concerts named the Total Immersion series. I feel so grateful to have had the opportunity to perform on these stages with some of the most wonderful singers and instrumentalists, who I feel very lucky now to be able to call my friends. I can honestly say that I achieved far more than I ever thought I would in just 2 years. It was a demanding and challenging journey, but one well-traveled, as I know that these 2 years at Guildhall have prepared me so well for the future, and I feel confident it will stand to me for the rest of my career. I would like to not only thank the entire Guildhall family, but I would also like to sincerely thank my own family and my girlfriend for their constant support, love, and care. A big thank you to all the other families here today as well. I know us artists are complex creatures. Thank you for your patience. I, for one, am so glad I took that piano music out of the bin all those years ago. Entering into the big bad world as a musician, actor, or production artist can be a daunting thing, but I think I can speak for all of us when I say there is a comfort in knowing that we have a strong network of Guildhall alumni out there to support one another. So, I hope that Prosecco hasn't gone too flat, and maybe see some of you in the basement later for another night we'll regret in the morning. I hear the historical performance department are DJing. Thank you for listening. Congratulations once again.